Come. Where's my pen? Okay. You are saying the violence was a political gimmick.
Yeah, it was a political gimmick.
You are sweating. You sweat more when my questions come. Really, they sweat. They even say you are getting questions from somewhere. Right? You let me know when you are.
Fine.
You have gotten the permission.
Yes.
Okay. Can we start? Can we start?
Yes, we can.
Okay. We are roasting the PF official here. We roast him. Okay.
So I can start.
Yeah, start recording.
Ready? I can start.
Good morning and welcome to the People's Debate. I've been joined by Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, PF, Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin on the program today. Mr. Chendela Mukondo, good morning, and I welcome you to this interview.
Good morning, Honorable Caesar. It's quite a privilege to be here. And then also I say good morning to our viewers out there.
You are one of the serious propagandists, Zambia has ever seen on social media. Do you enjoy what you do?
I think that's an exaggeration. I'm not a propagandist. I'm a party functionary that is 100% dedicated to duty. And the difference between a propagandist and one who is a party functionary is that normally propagandists, they are hired journalists or experts who will be just dedicated to make sure that the message of their client is taken to all the corners of that particular nation or constituency. So for me, I'm a party functionary dedicated to duty. So whatever I do, it's for free. There isn't anything attached monetary, but it's just that advantage of also getting to know the politics itself, and then also rising up the ladder. So there is that big difference between a propagandist and a party functionary.
So what's the job description of a party functionary? Your task, what does it involve?
A party functionary is a party cadre who is actually in the structure of that party, or is a former party member, because actually we have certain functions. Like I've ridden through the party, and the part of the function that I was doing was that one of discharging of treasury on the constituency level for the youths. And then I moved on to even this information publicity desk. It's a product of my position that I once held under the province as a publicity secretary. So basically, it comes with the function itself. If you are a secretary, that's your function that you need to discharge for that organ of the party.
Now, when I go to your blog,
a chairman, you get that. So when you get to our blog, you get to see that our function is to make sure that we discharge the information to our party functionary across the nation, even to update such events as what was happening yesterday.
Right now, when I go to your blog and read the comments, they are very, bitter comments that many people pour buckets of insults on you. Do you enjoy that?
Well, that is part of leadership. It's get back as way back to the times of Moses. And you see, we have the rebellion of Korah, where people get bitter with Moses, even telling him that when we were in Egypt, at least we had some meat for ourselves. Others, they even say we had bread, even if we were slaves. But where Moses, you have brought us, this is a disaster. So basically, that was the leadership. And all of us, that was the beginning of freedom as humanity itself. Because that crossover, the Passover of the Israelites, that was the beginning of basically what we call independence or freedom. So basically, we are in this battle of freeing ourselves from poverty, freeing ourselves from undemocratic tenants, freeing ourselves from, as you know, we are a young democracy. So basically, that's our role. So as the leaders, I expect myself not to be people to be praising me, but in the boots of Moses, starting from one, Edgar Chagwalungu himself, he is the most condemned person. But at the end of the day, if we deliver according to the expectation of our people or halfway, we will be praised at the end of the day after we are gone. So it's the same. I can even tie it. A good classic example is that one of Mwanawasa, whom we condemned when he lived. But after he died, that's when a lot of people, they have come to embrace what he was fighting for. Even when he was talking about the crusade of corruption, not even the UPND favored him. He at one time lamented that it's very difficult to fight the battle of corruption because I'm all alone into this battle. In all angles, you find that everybody is criticizing me. So, but today, look at where he is. We told him a cabbage, told him what. Same with Michael Chirufyasata. He's a when he started with one MP in Lwapura somewhere there, we never envisioned that one day his party will engulf the whole nation. But if you look back, how everybody was criticizing him, how even at one time was described as a person not suitable for being a presidential material. But today, after he's gone, we are looking at him as a leader who was very great, a gallant leader. So even with the same one Edgar Chagwalungu, we expect people to criticize him. And then also even our Secretary General, they scorn on him. Even everybody, I can just say across, as long as you are PF. So basically our battle is not to falter, but to show resilience and to demonstrate resilience. And this is the right time. And I'm happy that you have asked that question that we need from ward level, constituency level, district level, provincial level to national level. All our leaders need to show that resilience. We don't have to falter. We don't have to give in. We don't have to cave in. Immediately we cave in, everything collapses.
Right now, what role did your information and publicity desk play for that PF triumphed in yesterday's elections, especially the parliamentary elections in Mwansabombwe and Lukashya?
Basically, if you look at the history of our publicity desk, is that one of showing the mobilization from the section level, from the ward level. I've jumped to the branch level, the ward level, and then in the constituency level, the district level to the provincial level. And the culmination is where you see the president is coming in now. So basically, if you get to our history, we covered our events properly, and we followed everything as it was unfolding, even there in Lukashya. So we have almost about 30 moderators who are scattered along along the nation. So you may find that for us, the strategy is that we have let individuals to be able to post wherever they are. And then those who have the earliest information, they should update the blog or the people out there. So basically, ours, we played the major role of updating the development until it culminated to where we are. Even others, we find those who capture the violence, what is happening on the ground, we will pick that one and then let everybody get to know. Because we know that this blog, it is, when it comes to the coverage, it covers almost all the party functions, starting from the president himself, the secretary general, our media director, everyone is on that blog. So basically for us, we need to be above board. That's why you find that for us, we don't entertain activities like any entertainment, but basically everything it's purely politics.
Right. We also.
So our role in this by-election is that one of updating our people.
Did you update them correctly? Were you honest in updating? Did you use any vulgar language as we have seen on social media? There's too much insults now.
Comrade Caesar, you have been, I think, seeing our blog for a long time. We have never exaggerated the picture. We have never participated into this issue of taking negative news or misleading our people. But we have taken news the way it has been. If Kaindi Chilema has insulted the people of Northern Province, we have reported with an attachment or with that video. So basically, for us, we have been so transparent and so good. Even when we have ministers, those ministers who have been involved in scandals, we have published the information for the public to judge and to know that we have behaved above board. So basically, to us, integrity is number one, and we remain truthful. And our president is one who has been telling us to tell the people what is on the ground. And he believes in the information that is on the ground. Otherwise, if we are misleading our people, the PF itself, they wouldn't have allowed us this far. But we are very much cautious that we are part of this bigger picture, and that is the ruling party, the Patriot Front itself. And whatever views that we post there, it represents the views of the Patriotic Front. So we are very sensitive for that.
Your party has won Lukashya and Mwansabombwe parliamentary seats.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's stated by the deaths of
the two gallantly done.
Yes, Honorable Roger Smora and Mukondo. May their souls rest in peace. What does that mean to the ruling party?
Well, just building on what you have just said, July for us was a very bad month. We lost those two honorables on the same day. And for us to come out, then defend the two seats, and we have hammered or walloped the opposition, it means that the two honorable ministers, they will continue resting in peace. Their works will continue.
The members of parliament.
The late members of yes,
parliament.
We are standing on their shoulders. It's because they were really gallantry leaders. Without them, we wouldn't have been where we are. And this congratulatory message also goes to the Republican President, Lwangwa District Lusaka, who has been a peaceful man and a man of walking the talk. And then our Secretary General, Davis Mwila, under whose leadership, the Patriotic Front has continued growing at an astronomical level. Because if you see, we are not only looking at the constituencies that, especially that we have gone the Lukashya seat, but defended the Mwansabombwe. But we are also making good inroads in the Western Province, where you find that we had almost 13, where we scored about 7 seats at what we call per ground at ward level. And that's a true reflection of what it is. And as you might want to know is that PF, it's a growing party. It's not as the way it was with the MMD. When the MMD got into power, they hammered the UNIP, or the war of the UNIP, by 125 MPs against 25 of UNIP. That was 150 MPs. And UNIP got a share on the presidential side, almost 20%. And 80%. For ours, it has been different. We have been coming from more like on a growing party. We started with 1 MP, went into 46. 46, we had about 56. Now we went into about, when we 2011, almost close to about 70. Now we are almost, because we have been a growing party, we're almost above 80 MPs. So for us, this trend, where it is a streak, we have been growing, and the people of Zambia has been appreciating the party, and our premise has been very simple, that of infrastructure development. And we have been at times, when you look at social media, the way you even talked about it, whenever we talk about Chitukuko, we talk about infrastructure development, where especially along the rail line, these people who are 80% on social media as compared to the 20% who are in the rural parts, they have been against the infrastructure development. But if you look at what is coming out of these rural constituencies, districts, and then eventually provinces, you will find that it is a litmus paper that you are a growing party, especially
now,
Western province.
What infrastructure development is there in Lukashya?
You know, one of the things which I deliberately posted during this Lukashya by-election, I had posted a polling station which literally was just an empty shell of anything. But that's what our electoral commission is using. And I mentioned this is the reason why, as PF, we have insisted we want infrastructure development. Not only to see infrastructure development when you want to see a building which was built a long time ago, in fact abandoned a long time ago, and because we do not have infrastructure which was supposed to be built 20 years back or 30 years ago, you'll find that that's the infrastructure that we have inherited as.
But the question is,
so the thing is,
what is in Lukashya that PF can boast of?
We can boast about education infrastructure, and that is the primary schools. We can boast about the clinics. We can boast about the road infrastructure in that new constituency, and where our MP left, that one of social development, and to make sure that we have been on top of things. Otherwise, if we had never taken any development there in line of with the security, and I think the Home Affairs Minister was there, he showed us some of the structures that we have been developing in Lukashya in terms of security. And then schools, we saw to it, and we have continued building where we have been, where the late Honorable Minister left us. So basically, this is a good classic example of the confidence that our people of Lukashya has given us to get amass more than close to 14,000 votes. That is a plus on our side. And the opposition, and this 2,000 that Kaindi and his party has scored there, it's because of just Big Mule's good standing there. But unfortunately, he's starting to be dumped by the UPND after using him.
But Lukashya was not an easy terrain for the PF.
Yes.
How did you manage to win?
It is not an easy terrain for the PF, because even getting back to 2006, we had the Vice President Wano Katolosh Lupando. He fumbled even when he was a Vice Republican President. And he went there, he demonstrated whatever, but people, they wanted him to be always in touch with the people. And then even for us, we had the Honorable Kansembe, who was the sitting MP. He fumbled in, that was in 2016. So for us to reclaim this victory, it's a new start, and we need to take on board the views of the people of Lukashya. There are people who are very independent and very objective. They are not subjective at all. They are not tribalist at all. They are people who look at development the way they want it. And they would want to share the national cake the way they want. Not because of somebody from Lusaka want to tell them this is how we share the cake. So basically, that's how we look at this vote that we have received from Lukashya. It's a well calculated, I think, vote to us, so that at the end of the day, when 2021 comes, they will come and tell us, you had promised us this, you had promised us that. So basically, we need to include them on this national cake of infrastructure development. So that's how we look at Lukashya. Right, they are very independent people. They are just like the people in Loni constituency.
Right, I'm talking to Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, who is Chief Admin of the PF Information and Publicity Desk. We're discussing the outcome of yesterday's parliamentary and local government by-elections in Lukashya and Mwansabombwe constituencies, as well as other parts of the country where ward by-elections also took place. The numbers that you'll be calling us on for your comment or question are 0950650916 and 0974760894. Now, many people, Mr. Mukondo, expected that the by-elections held in a PF perceived as strongholds yesterday would pass smoothly without incidences of violence. But we saw a UPND vehicle being smashed by a PF cadre in full view of police, and also pockets of violence were recorded. Why did your cadres, instigate violence?
Well, this election, the one which has been happening, in particular the one in Lukashya, we had such instances. But if you look at Mwansabombwe, it was extremely peaceful. And I want to quote one Combo, who was their manager there, who was said, described as very peaceful and very mature. And they had a free range to move around. So borrowing from Combo, who was this morning at Radio Phoenix, he has described the elections, how they have moved in these PF bedrooms or stronghold. So basically, when you look at these pockets of violence, a lot of them, they have been driven by the UPND. And that is, some of them, they have been fighting the civil servants. That is to do with the NRCs. And I think Comrade Mucheleka, who was always here, was among those people who are found wanting. And I think he has been charged. So he will be facing, I think he will be appearing in court. He will appearing in court very soon. Others, like that one which happened just 24/7 before, is it 24 hours before the people started the casting of votes. It's very unfortunate, and we suspect, because that vehicle, it's Lusaka registered, and the owner is Lusaka based, but yet he operates as a businessman in Nakonde. And we, from our information, we hear that in fact he was one of the aspirants there. So basically, for us to, it has never happened before in the history of Zambia, especially in the northern bloc, to see in Kasama a vehicle being smashed in that way. He said the person who was doing that was a PF member. But unfortunately, the provincial committee has distanced itself from the individuals that have been arrested.
And that is fashion from the PF. You always distance yourselves from any act of when people have, evidence that this really happened.
Listen, this is how smart we are.
Is that being smart?
We are very smart because
to distance yourselves.
We don't entertain violence, and we shall never at any time associate with ourselves with people who are violent. And I think on is it last month, August 21st August, Secretary General warned us. He said there won't be any sacred cows, and anybody who will be found wanting, the law will take its own course. And the president in Southern Province echoed the same sentiment. He said we are a peaceful party. And, getting into the nitty-gritties, those individuals, the two who are involved in there, they're from Lusaka. And we don't even know them here from Lusaka. And what we know, this could be a political calculated plot for us not to know the individuals who are involved. A person who moves all the way from Lusaka to go to Kasama to go and violently attack another vehicle. It's unfortunate. You
don't have violent cadres?
We do have people who are violent, but the thing, it's like in another house. You find they have all sorts of characters. But the day that we discover that you are a violent person, we will disassociate ourselves from you. Just like any other church. Any church, we know that we are sinners. But in the day that we get to know that you are caught red-handed in an adultery case, you think the church will accommodate you. They won't accommodate you, because we preach against such vices. And as a patriotic front, we have always preached against such. And for such a person to even need to be seen wearing the regalia of PF and smashing that vehicle at, as Ngombo said, free range, I think that cadre should have been, those who are just addressed in our in what they call the watermelon. Inside that person was
what about
UPND.
Those who
Basically, we
Who
don't
triggered,
entertain that.
Who triggered violence in Sesheke? Are they not PF?
Well, the one for Sesheke.
Did they also wear watermelon?
No.
resume?
The one for Sesheke, one of them was Francis, the one from Intercity. I've forgotten the other name. And then the others, those they were sleeping. They were ambushed in a council hotel or restaurant, or what can I classify? More like a hotel, I can classify it so. So they were ambushed and they were beaten, mercilessly beaten. It was a massacre, that one. And that one, I think it's unfortunate that you could have our fellow Zambians who can treat other people just because they are affiliated to PF in such a manner. So basically with us, those they were identified, they were receiving aid, and they were party functionaries, and they were shown pictures. And unfortunately, I think it involved also who had taken those vigilantes of theirs to go and carry out such a massacre. And we thank God that no one died. Now, so basically,
instead of you,
those are party functionaries, and they were able to identify. But these ones, we are happy that the police have arrested all of them.
But instead of you blaming, condemning the violence, why are you indicting that they belong to the opposition party?
I've not ended the discussion. I'm still coming to that. I'm describing the scenario. And for us, now coming to that point, we condemn, we don't entertain any violence. And if you have any violent PF party members who in the future will be involved in such, we will distance ourselves from such activities. Because our founding president, one gallantry leader, Michael Sata, always said, for us, we're a peaceful party. And we have one Zambia, and God has stopped creating other nations. And God for us only gave us one Zambia, one nation. And one Edgar Chagalungu is a peaceful person. Even when they tempered him or they tested him in 2014, he said it very biblical. He said, for us, this nation, it's like that one of the wisdom of Solomon, where if you know that Zambia is your Zambia, you treat that Zambia the way that genuine woman who had suffered, who had gone through the pains of producing that child, not to be split into half. And we know our friends are others, because they would want to split this Zambia into half. They will go ahead not to condemn this violence. So basically for us, as the Patriotic Front, we don't entertain violence, and we shall never side with a wrongdoer. So let the law take its course, and we are happy. People are seen videoed on these cameras. They have been caged. So we look forward to hear how they will end in the Kalokon. So for us, we condemn any form of violence.
Just a recap on that. You are saying those people, the person that smashed that vehicle doesn't belong to the PF.
They don't belong to the PF.
You have proof?
We have our party functionaries there who have reported to us, and I think through the media director, they have already issued a statement that those, in fact, they are not part of the PF. Maybe they are just sympathizers, but what we know is that was a political ploy. And we will wait for the investigations, because we don't want to jeopardize the investigation of the police.
If they did not belong to the PF,
we leave it for another day.
No. If they did not belong to the PF as members, those cadres we saw instigating violence there, in full view of police, why didn't police pounce on them quickly? Because obviously they belonged to the opposition, as you say. Why did the police take time to pounce on them?
For us, we are party functionaries, and our boundaries end zone on reporting cases of such violences. But the police who are present there, if they acted unprofessionally, I think the enforcement part, and then also the disciplinary action that has to be taken, it has to go to force headquarters under the leadership of the IG, Bakakoma. And I think the Deputy Inspector General, I think I read somewhere where I said they were disappointed to see how those guys were very slow at those officers were very slow at acting. So basically, the professionalism, it has nothing to do with the PF. Those are civil servants, and they are paid every month, and they are paid for making sure that peace is maintained. And the president gave fresh instructions last month that all perpetrators of violence, they must be arrested. And you saw even the equipment which they were given. It was there. I saw one of the latest equipment moving there. So it's up to the police. I cannot defend the police. Me, I'm a party functionary. And what is important is that this government has provided fuel for the police. It has provided the equipment. It has provided the uniform and the environment in which a police officer should make sure that he enforces the law. So when it comes to the police, it has nothing to do with the party matters. If somebody is afraid to arrest a culprit because he's a pastor or because he's a PF functionary, it is unfortunate. Then where are we heading? Then they must resign or retire so that they can leave fresh blood to come and act professionally. That's our cry as Zambians. For us as the PF, and we want to echo what the president says, no sacred cows. If those PF, is it suspected cadres who are smashing a vehicle like that, they were fearing for their jobs, then it's unfortunate. Maybe they will even now lose their jobs because the government will demonstrate that we are championing peace. And as we go to 2021,
said, if those police officers who are there were afraid to nab those culprits because they were afraid of losing their jobs, does it mean when police officers arrest violent cadres are fired?
Look, JJ was arrested. Was anybody fired? A lot of is it our Lusaka Province youth chairperson one Kalembe was arrested. Was the police officers fired? Our is it Kamba has been before the law enforcement officers. As we have heard that they have been fired.
Mr. Mukondo,
no.
What is your take on the retirement of Shapi Wakunuma in national interest?
There was a video. Evidence was there. And the people were almost killed. That in itself, if I was to ask you, Zambia as a Christian nation, Zambia as a peaceful nation, what happened in Sesheke, has it ever happened in Zambia? Even when we were fighting for independence during the church, did we have such scenarios? You tell me, the answer is no. So that's a good classic example of unprofessionalism on the part of the police. And I expect now that you have brought in that issue of Sesheke. We also expect what happened in Kasama for those police officers to turn themselves into people who became, is it Jehovah's Witnesses, or the witnesses, to see that they must also be fired. So that at the end of the day, we see that there's professionalism and integrity restored in our police. And I know one Honorable MCC Kampion is above board. And remember, when there was this same month, where that card was saying, Barungu Tawakapite, whatever, we saw that the Deputy SG acted promptly. Can I say impromptu? And then he transferred that one in Western Province. There was an uproar. We had people of Western Province, is this the dump yard for unprofessional police officers? Or anyone whom we have rejected in Lusaka should come here. And then the minister himself came out and defended the police, the traffic officers. He said, you cannot transfer them. I think carry out a thorough investigation so that you cannot just fire, just over a political altercation, you transfer an officer. So that's how safe our officers are. So that case of Sesheke, they were given also the privilege of going into the courts. But there was a lot of evidence against them, unfortunately. And you saw the pictures which were emanating from there. that instance. It was very unfortunate. So wouldn't want that scenario to replicate. And this time around, we thank God that this altercation or this problem, the incident which happened, it just resulted in malicious damage to property. The way it happens with Muchereka and the other cadres who went to smash property for home affairs. So that's what we don't want. So we expect people to behave above board. So this is a two-way thing. It's a two-faced thing. On the other side of the coin, the police needed to act professionally because the president has given new instruction. He has not only given them new instruction, he has equipped them. He has provided the fuel.
For the clear understanding of the listener,
yes.
You are saying the police did not act professionally.
Yes, you are the one who are telling me that they were watching.
I asked you a question.
Yes, and me, I'm just qualified.
Is that a lie?
I've qualified.
Did they arrest them? Did they arrest them just then and there?
They were arrested later on. So that's why I'm talking about that unprofessional behavior, because those guys were supposed to be apprehended there and then.
You admit you have said they acted unprofessionally, right?
Yes, but just like a ruling party and a party functionary and the stakeholder, they acted unprofessional because the president, Edgar Chagwalungu, last month issued first instruction and he said it. And through the Home Affairs, I went to court. The Home Affairs said people should be worried about this equipment that we have procured. Only criminals. So, criminals should be worried with what this government has prepared.
Now
this statement from the Home Affairs Minister, it's a direct litmus to tell everybody that we don't respect whether any violence is coming from a cadre of PF or UPND. Everybody should go in.
So now when the opposition and other stakeholders who are not happy with the way the police ensure that law and order is maintained in the country, when they say the police is biased towards the ruling party, do they lie?
You know, that's what in fact we can end up having. We can end up having saying that if we have such scenarios, it will mean they have been siding not with the ruling party but with the criminals. But it's important that no one should be a sacred cow. So basically, for us, if somebody came out and then said that it's because they were acting fearing that for their jobs, no, it's important. That's why there is a word professionalism. Professional ethics demands that we should not make decisions because you are going to lose a job, because you are going to be hated, because you are going to be... Just as you talked to me here, I'm a party functionary of the PF. I'm always on social media. In defending it and make sure that any development happens. So basically, I should not be only talking about good things, but even if those things which people will be able to insult me over. So even the police officers, they should act. Even when other people will be aggrieved, but they must act objectively and professionally. So professionalism demands that everybody should act above board. And those who would be saying that these people, maybe they are siding with the ruling party, they will be correct. Then this is the reason why we have come here on radio station to defend our position as a ruling party. And I stand on even in the words which one of our Secretary General, Secretary for this province, Kamba, Comrade Kamba, when he met the Deputy SG, he said there is this perception where you find that there are individual altercation. Somebody goes to involve himself in criminality and then you say that is PF. No.
But did you read the police statement when those people were arrested, the two of them? It was suspected PF thugs.
Yes, suspected.
Did the police
that's why we are saying suspected PF thugs, because they were wearing our regalia. And that's why I'm saying it could even be a political pro, because they knew the UPND, they know that they were losing that election. So they were trying to create sympathy. For us from the political terraces, we know how people behave. These are Nazi tactics, where you know that you have not campaigned enough and you are seeing that maybe looking at what they were looking at, they could have calculated this thing, because these guys, they are from Lusaka. And the vehicle involved was just a calculated pro. political pro. So that at the end of the day, we have taken Mayam into Kasama, or what we call Lukashya. And that one, unfortunately, it happened in, Kasama Central, not in the constituency where it was happening, in Lukashya. So basically for us, that one, as politicians, we distance ourselves from such violence activity, and we condemn, and we stand with the public in condemning those guys, that the full wrath of the law should do, get those guys behind the bars.
Some people believe the opposition political parties that participated in the parliamentary by-elections failed to win or to defeat PF because the terrain was very violent. They canvassed under violent conditions.
Comrade
What's your take on that?
Comrade Caesar, today's statement from Honorable Garin Kombo, it's a true statement, testimony, that he said himself, who welcomed, the reception was very mature and very warm. We received a warm welcome in the PF perceived strongholds. And he even went further to say that not even one stone was cast against them. And they had a free range of activities. That shows you how mature the PF we have been. You remember very well when there was some incident was in Choma, when he was handing over police or security houses to the prisons and then the police in Mazabuka. We had those cadres of the UPND who came out and they were booing our president. And then the people of Lukashya and the northern province, Copperbelt, they said we are going to do that. But they were owned by our Secretary General, that we are not going to entertain. So the environment itself, which he himself has testified today, Honorable Kombo, it's a true testimony that we have reached that maturity. But this incident of where you find that a stationary vehicle, somebody just goes into a vehicle, start smashing it, it's exceptional. I think we are also interested as also a political party to know what made those two cadres to behave like that, because they are behind the police cells now. And I think no one can entertain such violence. So basically for us, we saw that in our stronghold, HH, it was very free, so free that they ended up even insulting us. In the behind the backyard, you forgot that there's a Chief Kitimukuru. So the language that used, we condemned it also. He was so free. And we never saw anybody even throwing any stone at him. And true to the word of Honorable Kombo, this election, despite that incident of people smashing a stationary vehicle.
Right, just hold your thought on that one, of somebody smashing a stationary vehicle, and the arrest of the campaign managers of the UPND, Mucheleka and others. When you look at the swiftness in the way the police operated, what is your understanding?
It is the same incident, even on our part, where the smashing of property for the government. It was not property for the PF, these NRCs, and then also the computers and the equipment that was smashed. It has nothing to do with the PF. It's government property. So they attacked government property, and there was evidence. And I think the arrest was not effected within 24 hours, if you are aware. It was done the following day, or is it after some days? And then also that campaign manager, who was also involved in this same violent activities of doing the same. So basically, for our colleagues, the UPND, they have always been fighting the arms of government, and that is unfortunately the police themselves. We saw even the loss of that girl as we are going to Chawama. When you had that by-election in Chawama, it was the same. We will find that it was not PF versus UPND. It was the police state security against the UPND.
You mean
The loss,
the loss of
Mapenzi,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and then the other one which happened at University of Zambia in the night there, where you find that it was the police, again with the tear gassing of that lady, and up to this very day, we still wait for the formal reports. So basically,
for both you slap the blame on the opposition UPND.
Yes, as a party, they were involved. Where was the PF involved in Chawama Mapenzi when was being hit by a stray bullet? Was the PF involved at the Unza? Unless if we will say that maybe Bowman was present there, or Antonio Mwanza was there when it was happening, or our Secretary General was there. But in all these incidences, people were at home. The PF party functionaries were at home, and even us ourselves, those who are on the lower organs of the party, we are at home.
Right, you'll be calling us shortly on the program. The numbers are 0950 650 and 0974 76 0894. I'm talking to Erasmus Chendela Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin, and very shortly the phone lines will be open. So you have to be brief, stick to what we have on the program for discussion, and above all, do not use vulgar languages. We come through. The elections were also characterized with voter apathy. What do you think could have caused that apathy?
I think it's an improvement to us as a Patriot Front, in the sense that if you look at the number which has come out of the one which has come out from Lukasa, where you find you have cast almost over 13,000. It's a good number, because at the end of the day, people, they have other activities that they continue doing, and by-election for them, it's not a must election. A lot of people participate into a joint election when they know that it has to do with a tripartite election, that is deciding the presidents of this country. But where you find that it's individuals, MPs, you don't expect much participation to happen. But we were, as the Patriot Front, in our bedroom, to us, we have seen a plus, because it's only maybe in Mwansabombwe where we find that that constituency, it's one of the biggest villages in Zambia. So we expected the turnout to be more than 6,000, maybe also 13,000. But also looking at the same predicament our people are in, especially that we have also the COVID environment, can also attribute to the apathy which is happening. But generally in Zambia, we normally, even when it's a general election, you find that the turnout will be 57%, 59%. So basically with us, we are not worried, but as people who depend on having canvassing for more votes, would want the situation to improve, especially as we head down towards 2021.
Now,
because
you can conclude your thought there.
Because we would want everybody to participate and everybody's voice to be heard through the casting of votes.
Your closest rivals, the UPND, also scooped some ward by-elections. Have you congratulated them?
Well, let me take this opportunity to, because we were more concerned with the two constituencies' victory. Because in these elections, we have come out as the victor. And it's very difficult to remember the vanquished. So the UPND came out as the people who are vanquished in this election. So I want to congratulate them in those ward elections, especially. Is it on the Copperbelt where they are the two? And then also, is it Western Province where they are about 4? So congratulations to our UPND, and that's what democracy entails. And for us to continue enjoying this infant democracy of ours, we need such people as the UPND who gave us this spirited battle. Because without their participation, it will mean we have degenerated to one-party state.
But you are saying you need the UPND.
Yes.
But it's the same PF which says in 2021 the UPND will go into a political
oblivion.
But why do you say you want them when you don't want them again?
When we say the UPND will go into oblivion, it's their candidate. Their candidate who is synonymous with UPND. That is a. He has been attempting for the past 5 past elections, and he has been failing. So this one, we are thinking, sometimes we just get into the heat of social media of saying vanquished, but we know the UPND, even as they lose the election, it won't be destroyed, it won't be dissolved, because we know that they are going to have MPs who been in the legislature there, just like MMD. They are still there, but we vanquished them, but they are still there. So basically, it's just a political rhetoric, which sometimes, as you said, it's propaganda. Maybe you can just accuse us on those extremes that we have been propagating too much, whereby you would want the UPND to. That is 100% impossible, because even as the Kaindi Chilema is going to lose next year for the 6th time, the UPND as a party will still have that structure. Somewhere in Western, maybe in Southern Province. But in Western Province, I think will vanquish them also there.
But
Northwestern who are going to push them further out.
Your previous victories in by-elections as PF have been viewed by your critics and opponents to be something that you just instigate. But except for the two in Mwansabombwe and Lukashya, those were caused by death of members of parliament. But the others, you have been accused of just instigating them. Now, does that mean it is eroding your victory when there's that criticism, questions about your victory?
No, that is just social media hype. Look, we have forgotten here.
It's not social media hype. It's coming from people we even interview on these platforms.
Yes. Because they are in opposition.
Is this a social media platform?
They are in opposition, and social media, not only social media platform, but also you yourselves, the media, you have integrated yourself into also social media platform, and that is the future of the world. Because you yourself, you need to be socially in touch with everyone. So even this one, it's a social media platform, and at the same time, it's a traditional media. So you carry two identities, social media, and then also the traditional media. So basically, what I can say about those people, if you look at the coming in of Mao Samba, somebody passed on. If you look at here, Chilanga, somebody was involved in a murder case, is behind the bars. So these naturally, they have nothing to do with the PF pushing the agenda of having a by-election. Kafiwe, the chairman there, they had their own problem with their chairman, who is their president, with their chairman there. That's how we ended up at the end of the day calling HH as the chairman. It's him who chased that man. If you look at Kaoma, it is HH who pushed that man. So basically, the unfortunate part of the UPND is that they have never entertained the political interaction and then also political dialogue. You'll find that any individual who is involved or who is just spotted to be the president, the Republican president or the vice president, you will be labeled as a PF sympathizer or some. A lot of these by-elections have been triggered poor political management of the UPND itself. So it has never been that one of the PF or ourselves triggering these.
With due respect, Mr. Mukondo, if they have never been induced by the PF, why do we hear that some of these people that step aside as councillors are given jobs in the civil service?
Look, Mr. Comrade Caesar, can a councillor opt to go and become a driver? A councillor who represent everyone, and then somebody is demeaned to become a driver. Is that serious, really? These people, they have seen, because they are disillusioned. That's why I find that a lot of them, they have opted to join as a civil servant under the same councils as drivers, instead of being councillors for UPND. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing that they have been receiving from their party structures from here in Lusaka. So that is one of, when we talk about poor leadership, Ekaindi Chilema and his people at the secretariat there, they have failed to provide leadership. Because if you look at some of the pictures that we post, Mongu, you find that a public place, bus station, there is just refuse which is floating there. Does it mean the councillors are working? If you go to Mumbwa, the roundabout, which was tarmacked just 5 years ago, it is almost being swallowed by sand. Does that mean leadership is being demonstrated there? No.
How can they work when they haven't been paid in a long time?
Look, all councillors, they are not paid.
But how can they be motivated to work when they're not getting paid?
The all councillors across Zambia, they are not on payroll. And I understand they are only given some allowances, just like the way chiefs are given allowances. If chiefs, they have never resigned being a chief, and then you resign being a chief, and then become a driver of a local government. We have never expected such from the ones who are resigning from the UPND. Chiefs, together with councillors, I think they are on the same platform. These are elected people, and the way society perceives them, they are perceived as fathers, seat fathers. So we don't expect a seat father to resign and then also become a driver. So basically, when it comes to some of these issues, not all of them, again, they have opted to become drivers of government. Others, we have seen them, they have said that I just want to become an ordinary member. Others, they have said, no, I think it's time for me just to stop politics. I also go into education. So those are some of the reasons. The reasons have been various, but I've never come across somebody who has said on their resignation letters, which we also publish, and which is part of our job to make sure that these letters, they are made public, to show our people the reasons why these councillors have resigned. A lot of them, they are just, I want to go and pursue my studies further. The other one will say, I want to just concentrate on my business. The other one will say, no, I think for me, I just want to defect maybe to the PF, to the ruling party. So basically, those has been the reasons. And for us, we cannot go beyond that. And that will become speculation now.
Right, we start picking calls now on the program. The numbers are 0950650916 and 0974-760894. My studio guest is Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, PF, Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. We have discussed enough on the outcome of yesterday's parliamentary and local government by-elections. Now it's your time to ask a question or make a comment. Be brief, stick to what we have discussed, and above all, do not use inflammatory or vulgar language. Under a minute, each one will contribute. We have missed that call, but keep calling. I know we have quite a number of missed calls here, meaning people want to engage us. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, call again. It was too low there, but call again. I know that was Francis Mumbi, Mwana wa Mubiza from Mpika East.
Okay.
Mwashuka Shani. Okay, seems the line is not so okay, but we will definitely get to pick your calls. Just keep trying, and your expectations, Mr. Mukondo, of next year's elections in terms of law and order. Some people I think there will be a lot of Zambia will turn into a bloodbath. Some people think like that.
Look
Because
at
of, because of the hunger of both the PF and the UPND to rule.
these two by-elections and then other by-election in Western Province, especially Western Province, it has been very peaceful. That is the grassroots election which happened in Western Province. We never had any violence. On the Copperbelt, we saw our provincial chairman there in Lufwanyama and then other places there was no violence. Lwapula, Mwansabombwe, there was no violence. And even where we are talking about this Lukashya, it's just an incident, and that is a one-off. But basically, looking at what happens during these by-elections, we can say almost 98% it went on very smooth. There wasn't any violence which we had witnessed, which would show us that where we are heading as at today, we should be worried. So this one being a litmus paper, my words of encouragement is that let us continue on this trajectory, because it's good for everyone. It's good for our democracy. It's good for the ruling party. It's good also for the opposition, because what we are fighting for, it's just good governance at the end of the day. Would want to make sure that bread and butter is put on our tables. Would want to make sure that the medicine is made available in our